the rest of the world.
Yeah.
But Michael Fremont, the US trade representative, was very, very clear this week. He said, we're not interested in a free trade agreement with a separate country. We do a free trade deal with the EU. And if Britain left the EU, we would not have a free trade deal with Britain. And therefore, British goods would be paying a tariff going into the
He's clearly
US.
been paid to say that, hasn't he? I mean, this is the big political club gathering around the Prime Minister, who clearly is in desperate trouble with this referendum. Look, this is laughable. You know, America's got a free trade deal with Oman. America's got a free trade deal with Australia. Are you seriously telling me that their oldest and closest global ally, with whom they do enormous amounts of business, and with whom big commercial companies would say, don't talk such nonsense?
Well, he says...
It's an attempt to scaremonger by a paid official, and I don't take it seriously.
It sounds quite scary to me. I mean, what he says is, I think it's absolutely clear that Britain has a greater voice at the trade table, being part of the EU, being part of a larger economic entity. We are not particularly in the market for FTAs with individual countries. We're building platforms that other countries can join. We have no FTA with the UK, so they would be subject to the same tariffs and other trade-related measures as China, Brazil or India.
Well, it's early in the morning, so I won't tell you what I really think about what he said.
Go on.
Look, Britain has more influence in the world as part of the EU in terms of trade. We don't even have a seat at the World Trade Organization. We've been asked before to leave the room. El Salvador's in the room, they've got a voice, and Britain hasn't. We will have far more influence globally on trade by being an independent country with our own seat at the WTO, but more important than that, with the ability to make bilateral trade deals. Switzerland has more free trade deals globally than we do, and she's negotiated it for herself.
So who's paying him to say this kind of stuff, Nigel?
Oh, the State Department or so. I mean, look,
you think this is the big guys ganging up on the anti-EU
It's the big guys
campaign.
politically ganging up. But what is interesting is that in the commercial world, this is not happening. That actually the big bosses, like from Nissan, are saying we will go on making cars in Sunderland, regardless whether we're in political union or not.